Ricky and Sharon, Ricky Skaggs, Sharon White, another two showbiz family. How's it working so far? How many years?
33 years.
Not bad.
33 years.
It's working.
Think it'll last?
I think it'll
Yeah.
last. I think it'll last.
Sharon, in Ricky's book, which I have been touting at various points and places around, he talks about meeting you and seeing you, I think, for the first time. I think, if I remember it right, you were kind of overwhelmed the first time you saw her, weren't you?
Yeah, I heard this beautiful voice, and she said, keeps saying that was her mother singing.
I was on the stage with Mom and Dad and Cheryl, and Mother was part of the trio and sang the high part then. And he came up. Well,
I was carrying some records to go to the record table. That was part of my job when I was with Ralph Stanley, was to set up the record table and sell after our show. And we'd already been on with Ralph, and then the Buck White and the Down Home folks come on after that.
but I had seen him and Keith Whitley with Ralph the month before in Bean Blossom. My family was in Bean Blossom, Indiana for the big Bill Monroe Festival. And everybody was talking about these two young boys that were traveling that summer singing with Ralph and how good they were and how they sound just like the Stanley Brothers. And we were in our campsite when they started singing, and we went and ran to the stage. I mean, it was just a sound going through the trees, and everybody did. It was just drew everybody like a magnet. And we stood there and watched them sing, and it was those sounds that we'd heard on record, you know, like the Stanley Brothers. And we were working the following month, which would have been July, in Kilgore, Texas, on the same festival. So Cheryl and I said, we're going to meet them guys next month. And so we went up to their record table. I'd never done that before in my life, introduced myself to a young man. But I said, I'm Sharon White, and shook both of them's hand. And then
Well, tell who the other one was.
It's Keith Whitley.
Yeah.
I thought I said that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just say Keith like everybody ought to know who that is.
Cheryl went up to Keith, and you come up to me.
That's the way he remembers it. That's just fine.
Was it love at first sight?
My heart pounded a little bit, yeah. I really, I was trying to figure a way that I could see her again before that festival was over. And so you know, they had sung a song called When the Golden Leaves Begin to Fall. That's the song I heard them sing. It just blew my mind, you know. The harmonies were just so good. And so I managed to get away from the record table long enough I could get over there to where their little campsite was set up, you know. And so I asked Sharon if she'd write down the words to that song for me, you know.
And I didn't know anything but the chorus, so I had to go to my mom and say, Mom, what's the words to this song?
And she's
and
just
Mom's
flying,
like,
you know.
Mom was like, don't you get it? You know, I was totally oblivious. But
You know, of all the pickup lines I've ever heard in my life, honey, will you write down the words to that song? That's
unique, isn't it?
Priceless.
Unique.
A lot of people think that's what a songwriter does.
Yeah. But we have just finished something that's so close to our hearts, something that we've wanted to do for a long, long time. And we got to do our first duet CD. It's called Hearts Like Ours. And in 1987, we had CMA Duo of the Year with Love Can't Ever Get Better Than This. And Sharon and the Whites was on Curb Records, Warner Curb, and I was on CBS. Sony had I think, just purchased them around the same time. And anyway, they were arch rivals with each other. You know how the record companies were back in those days, and still are. But they were not going to share their artists with anybody, especially to do a whole album, you know, a whole CD. If they'd have been on the same label, it might have been different. But so that kind of dashed our hopes of doing trying to take advantage of, of that single that we had out. But, we look back at it now, and I don't know.
Well, I want to say, my heart got healed doing this. I can just say that because I kind of had a sticker in my heart, over that. We were not allowed to do something that every other duet group had ever done. If you have a hit, do an album. And I grew up seeing Porter and Dolly and George and Tammy and everybody, traveling together, and they do their own shows, but they did shows together. And so I just thought, why not us do an album, But I know now, and I'm convinced in my heart, that this was the timing of the Lord.
Yeah.
If we had done this back then, I promise you it wouldn't mean to me.
No.
It wouldn't have, this is like a dream come true. This is like a fulfillment of something that the Lord promised us a long time ago. We enjoyed the entire process. I was talking to Linda earlier about it and how everything was so intense back in those days as far as our career and all. And I know there would have been a lot of this. Mm-hmm. There was none of that. We had nothing but fun. We had fun looking for the songs, working out the arrangements, recording. The entire process was a blast.
Yeah.
And if nobody else likes it but me and him, we like it. Okay? We had a ball.
How about singing one of the songs from the record for us? Yeah.
You can just pass that CD right on down here if you want to.
You can get it passed over.
Get it past you, I know.
Who's at your record tape? This song we're going to do is one of Marty and Connie's songs. And when we first started looking for material, Ricky talked to Marty and said, "You guys bound to have some songs for us." And he said, "Why don't you cut I Run to You?" And we looked at that one and really liked it and had it in our list of songs to do. Well, months later, I hadn't even talked to Connie anymore about it. And we were at the Opry one evening, and in fact, Cheryl and Daddy and I were in the parking lot about to go home. And here come Connie walking. It was the Saturday night before we were going in Monday to cut tracks and to start on these songs. And I told them, I said, y'all pray for us. We're cutting Monday. And so here comes Connie walking up. Cheryl says, they're cutting your song Monday. And she just lit up, and Cheryl said, they're cutting I Run to You. And her face kind of went like that. She said, well, I thought you were going to say you were going to cut Hearts Like Ours. And I went, I'd forgot about that one. And Cheryl and I sang some songs with Connie on the record that Hearts Like Ours was on. And I remembered the song when she said it. So I went home, got my CD out, and was listening to it. He was gone. He came home the next day, and I said, we need to listen to this one. And I said, I don't know what we'd leave out. I don't know which one we'd leave out. But this one, is sure good. And he listened to it, and he said, let's just cut it too. And it turned out it's the title of the album. It's called Hearts Like Ours.
Like a rolling river, we keep on and on. Sometimes just the two of us out there on our own, through the fire, through the storm, we'll be safe here inside each other's arms. Hearts like ours, star. Love is shining down on us right here